at your age.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen, but it did. And so, full props to you and the Star team and John and everybody, because it was damn impressive. And you knew we were getting to this question. So the knee injury, how serious? What are we thinking here? Because obviously it's to do the last couple of races. Where are we at?
So I have a damaged MCL.
Okay.
Nothing else is damaged or torn on the MRI, but my MCL is torn. So I guess it's the only thing in your knee that can heal itself. So now I've got to take the time and heal it and hopefully not tweak it again, right? But for now, it is getting better every day. Actually, the hardest thing to do is squeeze a bike, because that's the inside. It's the inside of your knee, so that's the point of contact, and that's the part that gets a little bit irritated. I'm okay, like in practice, and then I'm decent for a few laps, but where it's been getting me is basically at the halfway mark in the mains is where, and that's exactly where I've been getting kind of spit out the back. I mean, you saw that in Boston and in Denver, where I'm kind of just riding around, and it's kind of affected the way I weight the bike too in the turn. So I'm hoping I can gain that strength back, and that's all I can do at this point.
Right.
And looking in the future, I think I'll be okay for outdoors to go ahead with it. It's as long as I don't piss it off, and we'll just see. We'll just see.
Is it something where you may take this weekend off or no?
I would say there's a higher probability of me taking this week off.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. It's unless things really change in these next couple of days, I would say I'm not racing Salt Lake.
Right.
I am going there no matter what, just to be with Yamaha and all the fans in Salt Lake. But I would say there's a 98% chance I don't race.
It makes sense to me. Yeah, you got outdoors coming up. You can heal itself.
Yeah.
Why race Salt Lake? All that stuff. Definitely.
Yeah, and what's crazy is it's torn, but it is getting better, and it doesn't really even make sense to me for how it feels, but for what the MRI says. So
right.
I don't know. We'll just see.
And you didn't do it in that coming out of the tunnel. You did it in a corner where you dabbed it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So it was in the sweeper. It was in the left-hand sweeper, actually, where Jason got me early in that heat race.
Yep.
And then after the tunnel thing, that next lap, it was in that sweeper again. I was going to kind of try to do the same move that he did to me in that sweeper, and you'll go back and watch it. And I just, my leg gets whatever.
Right.
I just dab weird, and the thing gets whatever, bent or twisted. And that's what did it. And Atlanta, I was freaking out. I was totally freaking out after the heat race. I didn't say anything to anyone.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I just went with it. And what actually saved me there was the track being kind of open and fast.
Yeah.
And not really tight.
Yeah.
Because I had a harder time in actually Boston and Denver than I did in Atlanta, just because all the stop and go and the way you have to load your knee in the corners and the jump. So, that Atlanta main event was kind of a blessing for
the way it was
doing it there.
Right. Yeah, man, I can imagine you were stressing. And well, I mean, would have been really nice if you would have shot me a text, because we were discussing you after Atlanta, being like, I don't know, man, that was weird. We haven't seen that from Eli.
I know. That's the best part, right? I'm like, I don't know. I just rode weird at the start of the race. But what really was going on?
I get it.
Whatever.
I've been on a team.
I was jacked.
Right. Yeah. I've been on a team. I get it. Eli Tomac brought to you by folks at OGO Power Sports. 702-586-7857. If you want to talk to Eli, if you got a question for him, we got a few people on hold already. It's been a great season for you. And what was your best race? What do you think was your best race? I have one in my mind, but what comes to mind for you?
I have to say Seattle.
That was mine too. Yep.
That was my best riding. I think I hole shotted, and it was the easiest race to win, and I was way out front. And it was
you were gone.
Everything was easy. I was shredding. That was it. Seattle.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Hey, I got it.
Yep.
At what point in time in the Supercross season do you get to be like, I'm freaking overriding the same 2 test tracks, and you want to start riding outdoors? And conversely, like, when in outdoors are you like, holy shit, I'm tired of riding the same damn outdoor track all the time. I want to go back to Supercross.
That's basically what happens. Is like halfway through, you're like, why do I even need to go out on the practice track? It gets pretty monotonous. So once you're like into the season, it's nice just racing on the weekend. So when you're in the middle of the season, you're like, man, I just want to go race. That's what we all look forward to. Yep.
We saw that you got fined $1,000 after Boston for not doing TV stuff. What are you? Something like that happens. Like, obviously your knee was the issue, and you were pissed, and whatever. Maybe you didn't want to tell anybody anything. So I honestly get that, and $1,000 for you is not a big deal. I get that too. But so when something like that happens, are you like, nah, screw you, or are you like, yeah, whatever? Where are you at with that when you hear that?
No. So what happened is I went and talked to AMA, and this week. And I basically appealed it and said, hey, my knee was jacked. I didn't want to go on TV, tell everyone some lie, right, that I just rode like a squid and went back to, 7th from 2nd or 1st.
Yep.
And I was like, my knee was jacked. I, even saw Alpine Star before the race, and that's basically in that rule, right, is you have to have a medical issue or clearance.
Yep.
And then what I also told them, I was like, hey, you guys interviewed Johnny T after the race. I was like, well, maybe you should make it $500 because you still got a word from us, right?
You still got a Tomac, right?
Anyway, that was my point of view, and they accepted it.
Okay.
So that was it. I mean, I understand I shouldn't just go blowing by the TV and people want to hear it, but in my head, I was like, I'm a really honest guy. I don't want to lie to everyone on TV what happened, and if I was saying something, it was all BS anyway. And I'm not going to tell someone that I'm hurt, because I do think motocross is enough of a contact sport to where it does matter if a guy's, hurt, especially his knee, right?
Right.
Why not take him a little bit high, make him squirrel out,
Yeah.
So that was my take on it.
Especially, hey, squirrel out, put your knee down. The MCL is the side ligament, and then you put pressure on the side of your knee, right? Also, I was yelling at Red Dog one day about, like, I don't understand why you guys keep it all quiet. I don't know why you guys do this. It bugs the shit out of me. Blah blah blah. Red Dog said, hey man, if I was late in a moto and I knew a guy hadn't been riding because of some injury, or I knew a guy had been off the bike, and I knew he was hurting, Red Dog is like, that helped me. That gave me motivation out on the track late in a race. And I'm like, that's a great idea. I wish, I still hate that you guys don't say anything, but it does make sense. Like what Timmy was saying, like, yeah.
Well, it's that. And the whole, what happens if I bump the guy a little bit extra, so it's both those. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a phone call for you here on the Pulp